In the unforgiving darkness of the underhive there are whispers of abominable beings that have been born into the world without the Emperor's light ever touching their souls. Abhumans have been tolerated in the Imperium of Man for eons, made to fulfill their roles in eternal gratitude. Life in the underhive has never been easy for anyone, and if born with visible birth defects or anything considered unnatural, this is something of a curse. Babies are often abandoned and left to die in the darkness for fear of prejudice and bad omen. But there are some who protect and nurture the weak and twisted. The holy redemption is on the rise in Necromunda, and Cardinal Bonifax III has taken it upon himself to cleanse the underhive of any souls he considers untouched by the holy light of the Emperor. Suffer not the mutant is the mantra taken up by his devoted and pious followers in their quest to rid mankind of those who would taint it. Talk of abhuman and mutant conclaves deep in the underhive has led them on their holy quest to seek out and purify all who do not accept the divine Emperor as their saviour. In the Redemptionists' blind faith, they have failed to conceive of any mortal capable of fighting back against them as they burn their way deeper, leaving a path of misery behind them. A gathering of those abhumans that have been squeezing out a harsh existence in the long-forgotten and abandoned dome in the underhive have come together under the one they call Old Cottonmouth. Those who survive in the depths have been fueled by rage and injustice, and in their endless toil has left them feral and brutal in extreme. Old Cottonmouth is strong, and under his leadership his children have become armed and dangerous. The Iron Hoof clan has arisen and will fight those who try to challenge their nature. One of his herd has been taken captive by a Redemptionist questing party and will be executed in flame this night in the nearby settlement of Greytown. While the terrified occupants of Greytown watch on as the proceedings unfold and the Redemptionists prepare to issue their judgment on this poor creature, the Iron Hoof clan reveal themselves in force and strike from the shadows. So here we have the Iron Hoof clan, Goliaths, also known as Goliaths, using the House of Chains rules here, stripping back the equipment somewhat to make them a little bit less equipped, but much, much tougher, with all of the central members using dermal hardening to get that toughness 5 in this one. So from left to right, we have a Goliath bully on the far left there with an axe and furnace plates. Next up we have a Goliath bruiser, with the extra toughness this one, stub cannon, frag grenades and furnace plates. Next to him we have the two-handed hammer on a forge boss with berserker, dermal hardening and furnace plates. In the center we have the forge tyrant with his renderizer serrated axe and bolt gun, furnace plates, dermal hardening and nerves of steel. Next to him we have the heavy, another Goliath forge boss here with rivet cannon, true grit, furnace plates and dermal hardening. Next to him we have a Goliath bruiser with an axe and stub gun, furnace plates and dermal hardening. Next to that we have another Goliath bruiser with a stub cannon and maul, furnace plates, dermal hardening. And on the far right there we have a Goliath bully with a brute cleaver, stub gun and furnace plates. Suffer not to the mutant. The Redemptionists now only 6 members, but armed to the teeth with flame weapons, of course. From left to right we have a Zealot with an auto pistol and eviscerator with flak armor. Next to him we have a Brethren Specialist with grenade launcher, auto pistol and flak armor. Next to that, of course, we have the Redemptionist Deacon with a fire pike, auto pistol, flak armor and blazing faith as his skill of choice there. Next up we have the Redemptor Priest with 2 auto pistols, a chain axe with an exterminator cartridge, flak armor and unshakable conviction. Next to him we have the other Deacon with an auto gun, blasting charge, exterminator cartridge, auto pistol and flak armor with the parry skill. And last, on the right, we have a Redemptionist Brethren with shotgun, scatter, solid, an exterminator cartridge, flak armor and an auto pistol. Suffer not to the mutant, as we can see, in position to be executed come turn 6 as the clock winds down. The Redemptionists are scattered around the middle of the board here, and the Beastmen are all around the edges, with the Goliath leader and one of his bruisers over on this side. In hiding over here we have one of the champions with the two-handed hammer and the other champion with the rivet cannon. Moving over to this side we have the other Goliath Bully with Brute Cleaver. And over here we have another Bruiser with a Stub Cannon. Last but not least, of course, around this side we have the second Goliath Bruiser with the Stub Cannon and the Frag Grenades, as we look into setting up and figuring out who gets priority in the first turn. With the countdown starting on 6, we now determine priority. Black for Beastmen and yellow for the Redemption. And the Redemptionists will get the first activation of turn 1. So he knows something is afoot, or a hoof should we say, as the Redemptionist specialist turns around, hearing a sound, and plugs a frag grenade into the corner of this building, aiming to catch the champion here. Aiming and hitting on a 3 now with a frag grenade, which will of course hit. Caught in the blast here, the Goliath champion is wounded on a 5 by the frag grenade. And that will do it. And he has a save of 5 or 6 to be made here, which does not save. A wound going through. The first of the Beastmen now. Scales 5 inches up to here, and a move action gets him into cover as we look at the next redemption action. In response to that, the first Deacon aims and shoots with his auto gun into hard cover over here, requiring a 5. And that will hit with 1 shot, wounding on a 5 here, which does not do it, but does pin the poor Beastman over here. The Beastman Bully with the stub gun and axe is a move action to the top of the stairs here, as he looks to take on the Redemptionists. The Redemptionist brethren with the shotgun decides to use his exterminator cartridge, dousing the Bruiser in flame as we look at the template, clearly covering the Bruiser here. This is a 1 shot and it's wounding on a 5. With a 3 that will not do it, but it will mean that the Bruiser goes pinned. But is he on fire, most importantly? He is. So the Bruiser's toughness may keep him in check there, but he will go pinned and he will fall if he fails the initiative check. He does not fail the initiative check, but he is prone on the stairs and ablaze so far. Another Beastman Bruiser here climbs the wall 5 inches and moves 1 inch forward to gain cover for next turn. While the Beastman burns from the exterminator cartridge, the Zealot now charges down the stairs with 3 inches, meaning a 9-inch charge there. Now he can make it 6 inches to here and goes within versatile range with the Eviscerator. 2 attacks now hitting on 4s. Neither of which hit. Big moment. Can the Beastmen come back from this? Already on the back foot. The already wounded Beastman champion with the heavy weapon stands and moves 4 inches into the open here. More flame now as this Deacon moves down the stairs here in an effort to unload with the fire pike onto the heavy. The fire pike now douses this wounded champion in flame. Again, due to dermal hardening, we're wounding on a 5 here, which will not do it. But is the Beastman on fire? He is not, but he is pinned again. The Beastman Juve now scales the wall 5 inches and moves a couple of inches forwards in an effort to charge across the gap next turn. The Redemptor Priest now, the last one to go, shoots both auto pistols into hard cover, hitting on 6s here. Neither of them will do it. The remaining Beastman champion is a move action all the way under the gunk tank with a look to charge the Deacon next turn. And the last activation goes to the Beastman leader, who surges forwards with his bolt gun, aiming a close range shot at the Zealot, hitting on 2s. And that will do it with 3 shots, meaning that the Zealot is downed The Zealot is down and wounded on 3s here. All 3 of them going through it. -1 with flak armor will mean 6 damage. 6 damage dice being rolled on this incredibly powerful bolt gun shot here. And 3 flesh wounds will take out the Zealot. That's the first injury of the game, and that is the end of turn 1. And the clock counts down to 5 now as we look at priority. As the clock ticks down in this public execution, we now have priority for turn 2. The Redemptionists will get this one too. The Deacon now stands on the bottom step here and douses the second champion in flame from the fire pike, hitting automatically and wounding on a 5 here. It will wound on a 6, no ammo check, but that does cause rending. Very nasty indeed. Now we have a save at -2. No save can be made here, so this goes straight to injury. 2 wounds on this champion means that we have 1 injury dice due to rending here. And a flesh wound is caused. The Goliath is pinned. Now, of course, we roll to see if there is a blaze token on this champion. With a 1, he is not on fire. The Beastman champion that was wounded earlier stands and unleashes the rivet cannon. 9-inch range on this, rapid fire, strength 4 and damage 2 here, hitting on a 4. And that will do it with 2 shots. As we roll 2 dice to see if this Redemptionist is wounded. 1 wound goes through. We'll just check the AP on that. With only flak armor and -1, that leads straight to an injury roll after the first wound is taken on the Deacon. And a seriously injured Deacon on the bottom of the stairs there, as we head back to the Redemptionists. Out of Executioner, the Redemptionist Brethren decides to shoot a solid shot into soft cover because of the railing here, needing a 5. That will not do it. The Brethren's second activation is to retreat up the gangway. Over to this Beastman Bruiser now, who stands behind hard cover, having previously been pinned, and shoots his stub cannon off at the shotgunner, needing a 4 here. And that will do it, and trigger knockback. As the shotgunner is half-inch away, he will fall. As the Brethren falls due to the stub cannon's knockback, we now need to roll to wound on a 3 here with strength 5. That will not do it. But does the fall do it? It does. Now we do have a flak armor save here to make, so a 6 up is needed, which he does not make, meaning that we get an injury dice from the 4 here. Seriously injured Brethren, the second one in turn 2, as we lie him face down over to the Redemptionists. The Redemptionist Specialist aims and shoots a crack grenade over into the Beastman leader now, needing a 3. That will do it. And this could be nasty here, as we become pinned if we don't roll a Nerves of Steel check here. Nerves of Steel being used, requiring a cool check to remain standing, which is passed. The Beastman leader here takes 1 wound, and the other goes through as an injury roll. And a serious injury is had for the Beastman leader here. Not good at all. Crack grenade, strength 6 against toughness 5 here means wounding on a 3. And that will do it, and this is going to be 2 damage if it can't be saved. The Beastman leader crawls 2 inches forwards as his only activation for this turn, being seriously injured. As the Deacon steadies his auto gun aim over here into hard cover, he's requiring a 5 to hit here. And that will not do it. Over to the Beastman. A leap across the gap now for this Beastman bully, as we need a 4+ initiative to leap. With a 5, we will make it, meaning a 2-inch leap across the gap, and then carries on movement to the bottom of the ladder. The last one to go for the Redemptionists is the Priest, as he aims down also into hard cover here with 2 auto pistols, neither of which will hit. The wounded and flesh wounded Beastman champion stands and moves just outside an inch of the seriously injured Deacon. Now for the flaming bruiser. First, before he activates, does he succumb to the flames? Needing a 5 here. That will do it, and at -1, that will go through. An injury dice to be rolled here from the flames, as we get another serious injury, as this turn 2 really kicks off here. The last activation of turn 2, as another bruiser with a stub cannon aims and fires into soft cover at the Redemptionist specialist, requiring a 4 here, which will not do it with a 1. At the end of turn 2 already, we have absolute carnage. The Redemptionist Zealot was taken out of action. From a bolt gunshot in turn 1, we have a seriously injured Brethren down here, a seriously injured Deacon down here as well, and of course 2 wounded champions, a seriously injured Beastman leader, and a seriously injured bully here as well, or should I say bruiser. Now, is he still on fire though? That's the question. He is still on fire. Now we get to roll recovery checks. Recovery for the Goliath leader now. Still seriously injured. Recovery for his buddy. Still seriously injured. Now for the Redemptionist recovery. Does this Deacon recover? He does not, with a serious injury. And for the last Brethren down here, does he also recover with a serious injury? No recoveries are made as we head into turn 3. We then roll bottle checks and then priority. First of all, do the Redemptionists bottle with 3 down? They do not with a 1. They hold steadfast in this one as we go into turn 3. The Goliaths with the starting crew number still can't bottle. Let's move the counter down 1 and roll for priority. Priority now in turn 3 with black for the Beastmen. And of course the Redemptionists get it 3 times in a row. So the Redemptionist Brethren Specialist goes first. Grenade launcher is too close to use accurately, so he's going to turn round, aim and use the auto pistol at point blank range on the Beastman bully. Needing a 2 here and getting 2 shots off. 2 shots wounding on 5s here with the auto pistol. We need this, neither of which go through. However, as the Beastman goes pinned here, he could fall off the edge, so we need another initiative check of a 4+ to make sure that he stays on the ledge there. And of course he passes, meaning that he is just prone and pinned. The heavy Beastman champion here declares a charge in order to coup de grace. With a 2, he will make it with 5 inches to the bottom of the stairs and coup de grace the fire pike out of action. A crawl action here, can't do nothing else for the Brethren on the ground there. Now it's time for the other Beastman champion to charge and finish off the downed Brethren. 3 down, 3 to go. The Redemptor Priest now, shooting both auto pistols down into the Beastman champion who's been flesh wounded. Needing 5s here because -1. And the black will do it with 2 shots. 2 shots now, needing 5s to wound with toughness 4. And 1 will go through. And as it's in the front arc, we do get a save of a 5+ here, which is not made. And as this champion has already taken a wound, we go straight to injury with a serious injury. And this game is getting very brutal very quickly as this fella is face down. The Beastman bully beneath the stairs stands and aims his stub gun at close range, +2 to hit, needing 3s now at the specialist. And that will do it. Wounding on 4s. That will also do it. With flak armor, we have a 6+ save, which is not made and goes straight to injury for the next Redemptionist. Another serious injury in this one. The last to go now is the second deacon, or the only deacon remaining, who steps to the edge and uses his exterminator cartridge on the champion below, automatically hitting but wounding on a 5 here. And that will do it with a 6. Having already taken a wound and being at -1 and out of the front arc, this goes straight to injury as well, being another serious injury. Just Beastmen to go now. First, we get to see if this guy succumbs to the flames. He does not, but he can only crawl, so he's going to crawl up the stairs here, with the leader following close behind. This stub cannon slightly out of range. We have a move action down to the bottom here. And with the last Beastman available, the same again, with a climb down to here and a move to the corner. The end of turn 2, and incredibly brutal so far, as the clock ticks down to 3. We have many serious injuries. 2 serious injuries over here for the Beastmen, 2 more over here, with both champions and the leader wounded and seriously injured, along with a bully. But only 3 Redemptionists remain, as 3 have been taken out already in this one, as we roll for recovery. Time for recovery rolls, as the Beastman leader, being the most important, rolls a flesh wound. Back in the game with toughness 4. Now let's roll for the bruiser buddy next to him. Another flesh wound, also back in the game with toughness 4. Now for the champions. And the first, with the 2-handed hammer, is still seriously injured, while the other, with the rivet cannon, is dead and out of action in this game. The seriously injured Redemptionist specialist now is a flesh wound and is also back in the game. Bottle check for the Beastmen now, needing low. And they do not do it. Bottle checks need to be made. Bottle check for the Redemptionists now. They also break. And now we need to start making those all-important bottle checks. Before we get into those bottle checks, we first need to roll priority, black for the Beastmen. And the Beastmen will get it for the first turn this game. And now we roll those bottle checks for the Beastmen. First we begin with the Beastman leader, hoping not to flee here, as we roll a 4. A cool of 4 means the leader passes, as does everybody within 12 inches, including this champion here, as we roll for the rest of the Beastmen. This one down here now, needing a 5, will just pass. Now for the Beastman bully under the stairs, needing a 7 here. He will pass. And for the last Beastman ganger, nipples, the ganger will flee. And that is this guy out of the game. Now for the Redemptionists, as the leader really needs to pass this to stay in the game. And he passes with an 8. As the Beastmen win priority here, the first action is a charge from the bully into the specialist. 2 attacks from the brute cleaver and 1 from the stub gun. The stub gun is the only one that hits here, needing a 3 with the brute cleaver. But does it wound? We shall see. On a 3 here. It does go through, but we have a 6-up save here for the Redemptionist, who does not make it. And this goes straight to an injury dice, as we see what happens. Serious injury and a coup de grace for the Beastman bully. In response to that, the deacon charges down the ladder into the Beastman bully. With 2 base attacks and his auto pistol here, we're looking at 4s. So the auto pistol hits with 2 shots there, and 1 of the fisted attacks hits as well, both of which are wounding on 5s, so 3 wounding on 5s, and 1 will go through. However, only a 6-up save here, as it's not in the front arc for furnace plates. So do we get the 6-up save here and survive? We do not, and that is straight to injury for the bully. Also seriously injured and coup de grace. This Goliath Bruiser, is he still on fire? We shall see, but first, does he succumb to the flames? He does not. In an effort to put out the flames, he stands and goes 2d6 in a random direction here. 7 inches that way will lead him on top of this, where he goes prone and puts out the flames on a 4+ here. And he does, no longer on fire and back in the game. The Redemptor Priest turns around back to the way he came and shoots both auto pistols down into here. Needing 5s because we're out in the open. -1 to hit with both pistols. Neither of which hit. The Beastman leader then stands and moves up to the top of the stairs here. Stub cannon time, as this Beastman moves around the corner here and fires up a shot into the Redemptor Priest, but this time on hardcover because of the angle. We're hitting on a 6 here. But that will do it and trigger knockback, but luckily it won't knock him off the edge here. It'll just knock him back. However, strength 5, toughness 3, we're hitting on a 3 here. That will do it. With flak armor, we only have a 6+ save to make. And it is not made. 1 wound is taken off the leader. The last action of this turn is a crawl action towards the stairs from the Beastman champion. Down to the penultimate turn here, as the clock ticks down to 1. 2 more Redemptionists remain, only 4 Beastmen as we roll. Injuries here. The only Beastman that's seriously injured here is the champion with the 2-handed hammer. What happens to him? Is flesh wounded and back in the game at toughness 3. Priority now, with the Beastman having it last turn. Black for Beastman. And the Beastmen get it again. But now we need to start making those cool checks, as both gangs have bottled. First up, the Goliath leader, needing a 4+, will make it, as will the Bruiser down here. The Beastman Bruiser with the stub cannon down there, needing a 5+ here. He stays in the game as well. The champion that recovered was within 12 inches of the leader, so he stays in too. Now for the Redemptionists. The Redemptor Priest needs to pass his cool check here to stay in the game. And he does it with flying colours, meaning the Deacon stays as well. As the Beastmen get the drop here, the champion stands and moves to the stairs. Saving his bacon, the Redemptionist Deacon climbs 2 floors in a double move to stand next to the Redemptionist Priest. As the clock runs down even further, the Beastman leader will aim and shoot into the Deacon in hard cover, needing a 4+. With 1 shot, he will do it, and he'll be wounding on a 3 here, which will also do it. A -1 means 2 damage. No wounds have been taken on the Deacon yet, so he takes the first wound, and the second is an injury dice here. Seriously injured, but does the Redemptor Priest freak out at the prospect of this? Let's have a look, as he needs to make a cool check here, which he passes. Standing and moving to follow the leader into position here. No targets, so a move action is required up to here. With no targets in range of the auto pistols, the Redemptor Priest stands and moves slightly more central in order to give a recovery bonus to his Deacon. As the clock ticks down to its last tick-tock, we have 1 more turn in which to execute this mutant. 1 more turn to get to the top there for the Beastman, but first we have to make those cool checks. So first, the cool check for the Beastman leader to see if he flees the battlefield. And with an 11, he certainly will not, meaning that these 2 also stick around. As we go over to this side of the table, does the champion flee? Needing a 5 here. Still in the game, as we look at the Redemptionist. A recovery roll to be made here with an assist for the Deacon from his Priest. And he does recover with a flesh wound and rolls over, but now we need a cool check to see if they stick around. A cool check For the Redemptionists now, can they stay in the game? They can with a 6. As we play the last turn, we now look at priority. For those of you with a sharp mind, you will notice I did all that in the wrong order. But that doesn't matter, the outcome's the same. Now we roll for priority, black for the Beastmen. And the Beastmen will get it in this last turn of the game. The first Beastman action here is to move up the stairs and as close as he can get to the tower. The Redemptor Priest will turn and shoot both pistols at -1 to hit, hitting on 5s here with both auto pistols. One shot from the yellow auto pistol will pin, but does it wound? He's been flesh wounded twice, so we're winning on a 4 here. And that will not do it, but we will go prone here. To try and seal the game here, we have another aim and shoot bolt gun action into the Redemptor Priest. Aiming into cover, hitting on a 3. That will not do it. The Deacon, now recovered with a flesh wound, stands and shoots down into the Beastman with his auto gun. -1 to hit here, hitting on 4s. That will do it with 3 whopping shots here as we roll to see if these wound on 5s. None of them do, but we go prone. The last Beastman can't do anything here other than run because nobody is in view. He runs over to his buddy here. So this is the big one. The end of this turn, we roll an injury dice to see if the Beastman is successfully executed. Anything but a flesh wound will finish the game and the Redemptionists will win here. Let's see what we get. A serious injury will mean that the mutant is executed and the game is won by the Holy Redemption. With only 2 fighters standing, the Redemptionists have successfully executed one of the Ironhoof clan. And of course, the bad guys win in this Necromunda skirmish scenario, public execution. Please like, share, subscribe, and check out my Patreon in the links, and I'll catch you in the next one.